Hi everyone, and thanks for tuning in to the 2014 CAC Men's Cross Country Championship Webcast. I'm Tim Maurer. This webcast will feature each of the 10 conference coaches previewing their outlook for the upcoming championship meet. The York College Spartans aim for a four-peat this fall after edging out Christopher Newport for the team crown last year. Now let's take a look at each team entering the 2014 championship meet.
Fortunately for me, both groups are very motivated. The men and the women both want conference title. The men had a streak of 20 in a row before we lost last year in our first year in the Capitol, so they're very hungry for that. So as far as goals for the championship season, it's to win. You know, we don't focus on the outcome, we focus on the process and getting things done on a daily basis, and we feel like we've put ourselves in position for that outcome to be possible. You know, we'll just go into the race, and you know, we can't control how other people run. There's a couple very capable teams, and the men's battle with Salisbury especially is going to be very tight. York is the three-time defending men's champion, so you definitely can't count them out. But we're prepared and we're ready to, you know, to take on the challenge. For the men, we lost Aaron Zook. He was one of the only seniors on the team, and he was an all-region competitor. So that was you know, a loss as far as, you know, missing a piece of the puzzle that we had last year. You know, we've really developed a mentality that we're not going to have just one leader. We're not just going to have one person we count on. We're not just going to count on the seniors. We expect the same thing out of our freshmen as we do out of our seniors. And you know, same with sophomores and juniors. So, you know, we want to, we never want to feel like we are missing a beat. You know, we just want to plug in, replace, and move on, and make those graduating people proud of, you know, what they left behind, you know, from our efforts as we run after they leave. Key returners for the men, you know, JJ, LaPointe, Billy Rabel, Sam Martin. You know, the list can go on. Charlie Pruitt, Brad Turner, you know, Andrew Benfer. We had a very young team last year. You know, we only graduated one male from our primary regional squad, and so we returned pretty much everyone else, and we had several people just off the regional squad that you know, are stepping right up into the fray right now. So you know, Daniel Richard is someone I forgot to mention. And then, you know, as far as everyone else who I am not mentioning, everyone's been a key component this year. You know, the front seven are only pushed because the next seven behind them, and they're only pushed because the next seven behind them. So we've got a great group, and you know, I think we only lost about 3 seniors in total last year, and we returned somewhere in the neighborhood of 18 people. So they're all key to us because everybody in our program matters to us. The 3 that have kind of stepped up the most is going to be Daniel Reed, Grayson Reed, and Jeff. Freshman from North Carolina, one of our few out-of-state kids. Those 3, you know, have really stepped up as far as had the best performances to date. But you know, same as our returners, the most important newcomers for us are everybody. You know, everybody matters to us. You know, so Sam Murch has done really well for us. You know, and we're just could go down the line naming everybody because you know, they've all played a role in helping our top guys, our guys who are going to represent us at the regionals. They've all played a role in helping them get better as well. We're a unique sport in that we don't really have a conference and non-conference schedule per se. You know, we'll see a couple of our conference opponents here and there at different invitationals, and you know, we might see 2 at one meet, 2 at another, but you know, we aren't going to see all of them at once until the conference championships, and there's some we won't see until the conference championships. So you know, it's we focus on each meet as a meet itself, whether it has conference rivals or whether it doesn't. But we are preparing and kind of keeping an eye on what the other teams are doing, because we want this to be the best conference championship it can possibly be. When we went out to the Salisbury meet, their men gave us a very good battle, and I went up to their men afterwards and I told them to stay healthy and bring it at conference. We want that competition. We want to make each other better, especially since half of our conference is in a different region, and so some of our best competition is going to come at our conference championships, and that's our best preparation for getting ready for the regional championship. So we need that to be a tough meet. So I need Salisbury to run well, and I need York to run well, and we want that battle, we want that challenge, because our kids are hungry for the competition, and if they bring better competition for us, then we'll bring better competition for them, and it just makes everyone better.
Well, our goal primarily is focus on individuals, and that would be to try to run season best and hopefully personal best. For the guys, it's 8,000 meters. We are going to have a tough time moving up in the standings. The conference on the men's side in particular is probably the strongest it's been since we've joined the CAC. So we like to take care of ourselves, and then whatever else happens happens. The biggest loss was really the graduation of Pat Mead, who the 2 previous years, last year he was first team All CAC, year before he was second team CAC. So that's put a big hole in our lineup. We don't have that so-called front runner. Although we in time I think we'll have somebody that can take that spot. But right now, that's been the challenge, to fill that hole. We've got a large team, a lot of returners. John Stewart is a senior. I kind of refer to him as Mr. Steady. He has that ability to run very consistently. He steps it up in big meets as well, which is always something that you like to see. So we kind of run around. He's a big important part of that pack. And we have a number of people that have joined that pack with him. Jeremy Brown is part of that pack. Dan Rapchenko is part of that pack. Greg Horning had a very good summer of training, and he has moved his way into that pack as well. And we've got a second pack of guys like Ryan Hips and Justin Harold, etc., who have given us some depth that we need. Brad Baker is a freshman who has the last several meets has stepped into our #1 spot. He has broken a little bit away from the pack, which is a good thing. We need that from a standpoint of team scoring. Hopefully he can keep it going. I don't think that he's really scratched the surface of what he's capable of doing. Justin Harrell has been, I think, a little bit of a surprise. He's running, I think, better than he probably ran in high school. He's been very steady. He has moved himself up into our #1 pack in meets. So it's been something we really need. Well, we do try to set up our schedule to get us ready for the championship events, and so we try to run fast courses if we need some speed. We try to run some hillier courses if we need that. Mary Washington's course has not been run on by anyone, so I haven't even seen it. So it's been a little difficult to plan in that regard. But I think we'll be ready because we do run a variety of courses.
Well, at the beginning of our cross-country season, the men's team sat down, and of course, we talked about our goals for the year. We talked about goals for our academic performance as well as for our athletic performance, and certainly our goals were very lofty. We had some very high hopes on the men's side coming in, as we had a good nucleus from last year's team returning, plus the addition of some new blood into the program. So again, we felt very good about things going into the season. Unfortunately, it hasn't worked out quite the way we had planned and had hoped for. We've had a number of injuries on the men's side that have really kind of kept us from performing up to our expected level. And it just seems like almost everyone in our top group at some point this year has had to miss some significant training time. So it's been discouraging, but at the same time, it is what it is. And we certainly hope that before the conference championship we can kind of get a little healthier and hopefully make a run for the title anyway. Coming back from last year's team, our top two returners, Julian Menk, who's a senior this year, finished third at the conference championship, and Nick Exestad was right behind him last year at the conference championship, placing fourth. Nick went on to make all regions. So obviously those were the two top guys returning that certainly performed very well for us last fall. And again, the expectations for them this year were also quite high. But again, they are also two that have had to deal with some injuries over the course of the season. Probably our most significant newcomer this fall was Ben Sorensen, a transfer, local kid that went to Mountain View High School. Ben has certainly been a very important asset to our team this year. Again, he's been struggling with some injuries a little bit and has not been completely healthy, but those have been the key individuals for us this fall. And we also have a good solid freshman in Kevin Jones from the Northern Virginia region who's performed well. Again, has had to kind of miss a little bit of training time here and there because of some injuries, but certainly has been played a key role for us this fall.
We'd like to move the men's team to a higher standing in the results. I think we're capable of moving men into those all-conference team spots. And we filled in quite a few gaps this season, so that's our objective, is to move up.
We have a pretty strong top four, and then we have some guys right behind them who someone will probably have to step up, but if someone does, we could have a really good improvement this year.
We lost Kevin Farmer, who had a lot of experience and was really good at keeping the team uniform with regards to an inexperienced team. But I don't know that we really lost the biggest performers, per se. We brought in performers. So I think that the loss was mostly experiential rather than on a performance level. Colin Chartier and Carlos Elizondo, both sophomores this year, both came in significantly fitter than they were last year. We spent a year building up, basically, and they both adhered to the plan all season, out of season, summertime, and they're both just doing a really good job.
Colin was, I believe, 21st last year at conference, so just outside of the all-conference team, so he's, unless something crazy happens, right there, ready to take one of those spots, I think.
The men, we brought in quite a few athletes, but Tony Morales from South Carolina, young men's very, very talented, and we'll see a lot more from him. He's definitely our key guy, and then we have 2 or 3 young men that will, in the next season, even maybe this season, we might see the glimpse of how far they're going to go. We've got some good guys back there. I think I'm quite pleased. I mean, we spent a good deal of time kind of switching out some smaller, shorter distance events strategically, maybe more so from a training standpoint, not necessarily to hide. I'm a big believer in competition, but in nurturing, developing the team, for me it's all being more tactical on whether or not you're getting that development time in and whether or not the athletes don't have so much of the pressure of bigger races. So we were really strategic, and I'm pleased with the way the season's laid out so far.
I'd like to continue to establish a team culture with our endurance runners. We're hoping to improve individual and team finishes at our CAC Championship. Nick Sturm, Joey Pfeiffer, Edgar Makimoto are key finishers. I also have seen great improvements from Adam Campbell and Tom Cheney. Freshman Lee LaRue, as well as Dakota Thompson. We added a few new meets, and our men's side, this allowed for a variety of courses and distances, and we were able to see many of our conference competitors. We have a fairly young team within our top 5. I have 2 freshmen, 2 sophomores, and a junior pretty typically. I think we got off to a slow start, but I think that we're going to finish pretty strong.
Looking, number one, to get our team healthy. A couple of our top runners have been nursing some injuries the past couple of weeks where they've been forced to sit out. So looking to get them healthy as we prepare for CACs at Mary Wash. But team goals, I would like to see the team crack the top 4 as we've been anywhere between 5 and 6th overall the last 5 years. So looking to improve upon our team standing, but then also get a few runners in the top 16 and get some all CAC recognition. Luckily, this past year we only lost 2 runners to graduation. Ian Morgan was ran in our top 1 to 3 all year last year, so he's a key loss. And then our only other graduating senior was Matt Bennett. Those that returned, the key returners are Tim Carey from Leonardtown. He was another member of that trio from last year, in addition to David Kersey. And then also other top performing returners are Greg Manalfi, who has battled some injuries and illnesses last year, so he's returned a lot stronger this year, in addition to Max Becker. We've got a trio of first-year runners who have been in our top 5 to 7 all year. TJ McFall, Scott Zimmerman, and then we added Eric Ortiz after the first week of the season. So those 3 have been pleasant surprises and consistent performers in our top 7 all year. They performed well. Like I said, they've overcome the injuries that they've been dealt, so the runners have been able to pick up the slack and improve their performances when needed. Like I said, we've had very successful meets at our opening meet in Salisbury, and then also good performances at DeSales and Dickinson, and then we also hosted our first invitational in program history in September that went off well as well. So we're excited about our season, but also looking forward to the upcoming CAC Championships.
Well, the goals and expectations for the men's team are pretty high this year. We've got really 5 men that are leading us. We feel that we were putting ourselves in contention to possibly win the conference meet. We were 3rd last year, which was a little disappointing finish for us. We thought we were a better team than what we showed. So a little bit of a redemption side, but this is the last song for these 5 men, and I think they want to go out as champion. Last year, I think we had really 2 key losses. I'm sure I'm going to be forgetting somebody, but Nate Austin, who was an all-conference runner for us last year with his hard work and leadership, that's a huge loss. And then Nick Hanafy was just a truly great mentor for a lot of these men to help them in their first years and to enhance themselves as collegiate athletes and people. Key returners, I think we've got 5 key returners. Tom Burke is kind of I've seen him in practice really raise his level in the interval workouts and some of the training runs, so I think he's going to be prepared to go. I look at Brandon Horning, who is a senior as well. This is his last hurrah. He was one of our top runners up at Delaware, had a great race, and I know he'll have another one. We've got George Martinez, who here at home a few weeks back was our #1 runner. So those 3 are going to be integral to what we want to do. And then we have Eric Wood and Jeremy Scarta, who are both seniors. So those 5 really make up the top key people of our team. And I think Connor has contributed as well. He's been in our top 7 every single meet. Key newcomers, one's a transfer, and then a couple guys that are actually freshmen. But Tom McIntyre transferred in here from Maryland, and he's primarily a middle distance guy, but he's understanding what it takes to run cross country, but also at the collegiate level has been on our top 7. I think Ben Metzler, he's done real well, and we had a little injury coming into the season, but he's healthy now, and he's made some great strides every meet, every practice. I see him improving. And then Malcolm Milton is a tremendous talent, and a little bit of adjustment as far as mileage. And I think he's adjusting well and will be a factor not just this year, but next year in track season and in the future. It's played out as expected. I think we're underdogs. We were as a coach's poll, I think we were picked 3rd, and that's how we see it. We are a team that not a lot of people are looking at, but I think we've shown through how we've competed against some of the other conference schools that if given the right day, and if we run a team race, which we are capable of doing, we could put ourselves in contention to win a conference championship. And that's all you ever ask as a coach. The guys have been truly dedicated with some outstanding senior leadership by those 5 seniors, and I couldn't ask for a better group of men to work with this year.
For our men's team, I really feel our goal is to be in the top half of the teams there. We've had a lot of really strong showings. A lot of people still getting stronger, kind of figuring out where they are race-wise and what their times can be. But I think that we can take home a few different awards. We have a freshman that's running really well, and I think he has a chance to be the top freshman in the conference. But as a team, I think that we should finish somewhere in the top half. Our leaders this year kind of falls into our newcomers. Most of our team is new. But Mike Myers, our top freshman, he's been our top finisher in every single race so far this year. Been really strong, running really well. Came in with a lot of effort, a lot of work over the summer. Has been running really well. Our returners are our two seniors, Patrick Gonzalez and Kevin Prince, have both been running really well. Kevin's been very consistent all throughout the season, and looks like he's peaking really well right now. And then other guys in our top 5, Jefferson Chandler, back after 2 years on a mission, has been running really well, getting stronger. Really, once he figures out the mental side of racing, again, kind of gets his bearings there, he's going to be racing really well. And then Gray Meyer rounding out our top 5. As coming as a freshman, been running really strong. Dealt with a few injuries early on, but he's healthy now, and I think he's going to have a really strong race. So far this year, I've been pretty happy with how things have played out. We weren't really sure going into the season what Mary Washington's course was going to be like for the CAC Championships. So, when we were selecting our schedule, kind of chose some different grouping of pretty good balance of challenging courses and fast courses, looking for some smaller races and some larger races. Kind of give the team an opportunity to see different types of courses, different types of competition, and kind of prepare. Not everyone was about racing your best, racing a personal best. Some of them were more about, the mindset of racing and being competitive. So I think that as things have played out really well this year, courses like Roanoke and Washington Lee, a little more hilly and a little more challenging. We've also got some really, really good courses that have worked really well for the team at St. Mary's in Maryland and also Maryville, and hopefully get us right where we need to be, help us peak at the right time for the CAC Championship.
Are to get as close to the mid-pack as we can in the CAC Championships. I'm fully aware it's a very strong distance to conference, and I think mid-pack for our young team would be outstanding. Some of our key returners would be Carlton Shepard on the men's side. Besides a lot of speed, he brings again, sort of like Denise, he's a silent leader. His cross-country times are improving, but again, it's a tough league, tough distance league, and he's got a long way to go. We brought in some freshmen on both sides. The freshmen are working hard, trying to improve day by day. On the men's side, I like the effort of Louis Artiga, Jamira Bailey, and Jeff Koleski, and Ergito is trying to come back from a minor injury, so we're hoping that he can get up to the level that he's capable of. We try to go to some of the courses where they have some of the bigger meets on the East Coast, or courses that are important down the road, where maybe there's an NCAA championship or something like that, or a regional championship held. We went to Dickinson, which we'd never been to before, and we train flat. There are not hills here in Dover, so we have to go about an hour up just to find any kind of hill. So we're not much of a hilly type team. So when we went to Dickinson, that kind of hit us pretty good. And then we also raced at Paul Short. And Paul Short's a little bit faster. Ergi Ito made his debut there. I thought he did pretty well. For the most part, we've run at Delaware State, which we do a couple times a year, and that's more of a flat course in the cornfield. So that's a little bit better course for us. So we just try to go to good meets and try to find some fast flat courses if we can.
The goals for the men's team are really to come together as a group. We really want to get that top 7 as close as possible together, get some of these freshmen their first conference experience, get some of the upperclassmen their last conference experience, and ultimately come away with some PRs. And the other goal is to get all 27 of our guys below the 29-minute mark for an 8K. Last year, I'd say one of our biggest losses was Craig Epler. He was our captain and the main leader of our 2 through 9 pack. Helped out in practices, was very good at pacing, was very good at racing, and really stepped up for us at the end of the year. Also, obviously, losing Tim was a big deal to us. Losing those 2 guys in the top 7 was a really big deal, and they're going to be hard to replace. For this championship, we'll turn to returners Mike Stetson, Matt Hayes, Will Murray, Connor Simpson, and Aaron Robertson. All seniors and 1 sophomore, guys that were all conference last year, looking to go all conference again this year, stepping up their game this year and coming away with some PRs. Some of the newcomers, we brought in a large recruiting freshman class of 12. Top 4 that we'd be looking at are Andy McGibbon, Grant Dell, Ryan Aug, and Alex Smith. These guys have stepped up very nicely throughout this year, reacted well to the training, and we're looking for big things from them at the conference and regional meet. Our schedule is really good. We got to see everyone in the conference this year. I like running against conference opponents throughout the year. We also went away from our normal schedule. We went up to Misericordia earlier in the year. We go to SHIP to see some D2 competition. We see the usual Dickinson, some really good D3 competition. So overall, well-rounded schedule for us.
The CAC Championship is set for this Saturday, November 1st at 11 a.m. at Four Winds Golf Course in Rappahannock Academy, Virginia. Thanks for tuning in to the 2014 CAC Men's Cross Country Championship Webcast. Log on to cacsports.com for a full recap of the event and all of your CAC Men's Cross Country news and results.